Imagine a world where the basic rules of biology suddenly bend. A male mammal, genetically and physically male, begins to transform within its own lifetime. This isn't science fiction. It's a real event that stunned scientists and challenged our understanding of what makes a male, and a female, a female. The transformation was total, the animal's internal anatomy rearranged, its reproductive system morphing from male to female. Hormones shifted, sending new instructions that overrode its genetic blueprint. This individual, born a he, was undeniably becoming a she. In mammals, sex is supposed to be set in stone from conception, XY for male, XX for female. But here, that rule was shattered. The transformation was so complete, the once male animal eventually gave birth to its own offspring. This event forces us to rethink the stability of biological sex and the power of the environment to rewrite life's rules. If a mammal's identity can be so radically altered, what does that mean for our understanding of genetics and development? We're at the edge of a new chapter in biology, where the lines are blurrier and the possibilities more surprising than ever. This is the story of one small creature's incredible change, and how it could transform our understanding of life itself. When we hear about dramatic biological change, we think of surgery or gene editing, but this transformation was triggered by something far subtler, a chemical from the environment, not a scalpel or a rewritten gene. No DNA was changed. Instead, the chemical acted like a master key, unlocking biological pathways that should have stayed closed. It was as if the same book was read with a new interpretation telling a different story. The environment isn't just a backdrop, it's an active participant, shaping life at the deepest levels. The air, water, and food around us are filled with molecules that can profoundly interact with our biology. Here, an external chemical overrode the animal's genetic instructions for sexual development. This isn't just nature versus nurture, it's about the chemical world around us. The fact that a mammal's sex could be reversed by an environmental compound opens a Pandora's box of questions. It shows the boundary between organism and environment is far more permeable than we thought. The implications for medicine, ecology, and evolution are immense. This groundbreaking research happened at Washington State University, where scientists were studying ordinary male lab mice. The experiment wasn't meant to change their sex, it was about testing a chemical's effect on reproduction. But soon, the male mice exposed to the chemical began to change in ways no one expected. Their male organs shrank and female reproductive structures, ovaries, began to form. Scientists watched as fully functional ovarian tissue developed inside genetically male animals. To test this, they transplanted the new ovarian tissue into female mice without ovaries. The tissue produced healthy eggs and the females gave birth to healthy pups. This proved the tissue was not just similar to an ovary, it was a working, egg-producing organ. For the first time, scientists saw an environmental factor cause a complete functional sex reversal in a mammal. The story of this mouse is a landmark in biology, showing how the chemical environment can fundamentally redirect development. The agent behind this transformation wasn't a futuristic chemical, it was zearalenone, a mycotoxin made by fungi on crops like corn and wheat. Both livestock and humans can be exposed through contaminated food. Zearalenone's power comes from its structure, which closely mimics estrogen, the primary female sex hormone. Think of hormones and their receptors as locks and keys. Zearalenone is a lockpick, tricking the body into following female instructions. Male mice exposed to zearalenone as infants had their development hijacked. Their cells, flooded with this estrogen mimic, followed the female pathway. This is endocrine disruption, chemicals interfering with the body's hormone system. Endocrine disruptors can mimic, block, or alter hormone signals, with life-altering consequences. The story of zearalenone and the sex-reversed mouse is a dramatic example of this in action. It shows how a simple environmental chemical can infiltrate the body's communication network and issue rogue commands. The implications reach far beyond the lab, raising questions about the safety of our food and environment. It's a clear warning. Even natural chemicals can have profound effects on biology. This is endocrine disruption at its most dramatic. While the mouse experiment is shocking for mammals, nature has played with the rules of sex for millions of years. In many animals, changing sex is normal. Sequential hermaphroditism is common in fish like clownfish. All clownfish are born male. When the dominant female dies, the top male transforms into the new female. This ensures the group's survival and reproductive success. Amphibians, like some frogs, can also change sex, triggered by temperature, social cues, or pollutants. Their developmental pathways are more flexible than those of mammals. Marine worms called slipper limpets live in stacks. If the bottom female dies, the largest male above her becomes the new female. Social and physical context can drive sexual identity in these species. The bluehead rasa, a reef fish, can change from female to male within days if the dominant male disappears. Her behavior and body shift rapidly, taking over the harem. These examples show that in nature, sex can be fluid and responsive to the environment. The mouse experiment is a rare mammalian case, but in the animal kingdom, transformation is often a survival strategy. Biology is far more flexible than we once believed. After hearing about a mouse changing sex, the big question is, could this happen to humans? The answer, a complete functional sex change like the mouse, is extremely unlikely in adult humans. Our developmental pathways are set early and are much less flexible after birth. But endocrine-disrupting chemicals can still affect us in subtle, serious ways. Scientists are investigating links between these chemicals and fertility problems, hormone-sensitive cancers, developmental issues, and metabolic disorders. The mouse study is a powerful example of how potent these chemicals can be. We're surrounded by man-made chemicals, BPA, phthalates, pesticides, that can disrupt our hormones. Understanding their cumulative effect is a major challenge for public health. While humans won't suddenly switch sex, the study is a wake-up call about our vulnerability to the chemical environment. The real question, what are the long-term consequences of living in a world filled with hormone-mimicking chemicals? The discovery that a simple fungal toxin can turn a male mammal into a functional female rewrites the rules of biology. We thought mammalian sex was a stable, binary system set by genetics. This experiment proves it's more flexible than we imagined. The environment, through chemicals, can rival the power of DNA. This has huge implications for developmental biology, toxicology, and medicine. The research gives us a model to study how endocrine disruptors work and how to protect health. Zearalenone is a common food contaminant, raising concerns for wildlife and ecosystems. Could other endocrine disruptors be affecting animal fertility and survival? This discovery challenges us to rethink old dogmas and embrace the complexity of life. If something as fundamental as sex can be changed by the environment, what else might be more fluid than we think? This remarkable mouse hasn't just changed its sex, it's changed our perspective on biology itself.